What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol ROOT for Root Inc. On the left-hand side, we're looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, this will be more of an update. We've covered it in recent history here, and the development from today is obviously this large spur of volatility. Pretty strong, well, we'll talk about strength of close in just a minute, but a decent close punctuated all by solid volume down below. So let's dive into it a little bit further. Just checking out the context of the daily a little bit more. Don't forget that we are still in an overall downtrend. This thing is not completely out of the woods. Always just, keep that in the back of your mind. But in terms of what's happening here, we are starting to reverse the daily trend, right? If we technically think of this as the major low, and then this could potentially be the next higher low, that's the first step in reversing the trend. After that, we would need to set a higher high, which is kind of a tall task considering that the high, the most recent high that we have to beat, is way up there at $8.40. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about what unfolded today and on the session here. So if we zoom in a little bit, what you'll notice is a large rally about midday off from the lows all the way back up into this area of chop. If I just scrunch this up, you can certainly see how this area, this zone right in here, has provided a ton of chop in the past. I would argue this is not the zone to be trading this stock. What you want to do is wait for a breakout of this zone to the upside to get into some of these upside targets and potentially unlock the door all the way up there towards that 840, which we discussed is the high to beat from the daily perspective. So for now, let's take a look at the move and how it unfolded through the lens of Fibonacci from low of this all the way on up to the high. And what you'll notice is that we pulled right back into the 38.2. I do think that is noteworthy, and just pretend with me for a second, extend that to the left. Note how that was also prior resistance right around in here and in here. It's very cool how these things work. So what we're going to do is take out our price level tool and just map this out as the 38.2. That's the number we want to see hold for the best case scenario. So any further consolidation here that holds 628, and do note that in the after hours session, we are above that. You can see right up here. Maybe you can on your screen, but we are currently trading 648 by 650, so right around this area in here. As long as we can open up and consolidate in this range right here, that strikes me as bullish. And from the daily perspective, what that might look like would just be consolidation here. Then you're waiting for a break of 666 to then get into some of those upside targets we have from the daily perspective, that $7 number. But if we scrunch this chart up, is there anything else that we're missing here? Not really, right? So if we can take that out, and again, the 666 is coming from here. If we can take it out, 7 is on the table. And after that, that's where things get exciting, because this from in here is very poor structure. I would imagine the majority of it is retraced fairly quickly if we can start getting price acceptance over 7. Now, don't get me wrong, there should be a bump in the road right around here. From the daily perspective, we have prior structure around $7.67, but that's a bump in the road compared to this most recent sell side structure. Really not a whole lot going on in here that would provide some resistance. So those are my thoughts. You know what I'm thinking. To the downside, probably again not wanting to get involved in this overall range, and certainly if we take out 6 to the downside, you're not going to short this thing. If we come on over to the trade tab, it's hard to borrow, and the put side volume is just not anything I would be interested in getting involved in. So shorts aren't really available. I would just avoid if it starts taking out that 606, because as we know, if it comes back down and makes a new lower low, it's kind of continuing that daily trend which we've discussed from the 90,000 foot view, which of course is down. So those are my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you learned something new, certainly let me know down below in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.